Oh, that's what it felt like, didn't it, Browns fans? Overtime loss to the Denver Broncos. Welcome to Therapy Monday here on the Doghouse, your inside look at the Cleveland Browns. I'm Andy McNamara alongside Browns insider from WKYC Sports in Cleveland, Matt Florjansa. Get us on Twitter. Let us know what you thought about that heartbreaking defeat. The Broncos wanted you to win the game. Peyton Manning wanted you to win that game. Could not do it. On Twitter, at AndyMC81, at Matt Florjansa. You can get us on email, too. TheDogHouseShow@gmail.com. Dog spelled D-A-W-G. You can get our free app for Android devices. Just go to the Google Play Store, type in The Doghouse, subscribe on iTunes, and find us on Spreaker.com as well. Our question today is, why is the Browns' run defense so bad? Simple question. Why? 'Cause I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know how Ronnie Hillman gets 111 yards when he was absolute trash for the entire year. Matt, have you recovered from that heartbreaking loss and, fittingly, another one in the series against the Denver Broncos?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you get used to being I think it was Chris Rose who said Cleveland fans are 90% scar tissue. So you kind of get used to it after a while, and you just kind of learn to accept the fact that even though you're given a great opportunity to win a ball game, you pick off one of the best to ever do it 3 times. Yep. Including one that you took back to the house, and you still can't find a way to do it. It just is par for the course with this team. No matter who coaches, no matter who picks the players, no matter who owns the team, it always ends in heartbreak. And it was a good intro song because the Browns do give love for football, and the city of Cleveland a bad name.
It is true. The Browns held Peyton Manning to a 53.3 quarterback rating, one of the best all times. And in his career, although he's undefeated against the Browns, 7-0 now, I think, and this will be the last time he plays the Browns, so congratulations, Peyton, you ran the table on us. But the Browns have held him to pretty poor numbers overall. Yesterday, no exception. And Matt, what kills me, you had Kiki Mingo. Barkevius Mingo had an interception in overtime. If the football gods were not shining down saying, take this game. Carlos Dansby ran one back saying, take this game, please. We want you to do well. And the Browns said, no, thank you. No, we won't. We'll go for a 2-point conversion. Inexplicably. We'll get sacked a couple times in overtime when you just need one first down to get in field goal range. It just boggles the mind, Matt, against what, and we have to give credit. That is a real damn good Denver defense, though, isn't it?
It was, but they could have.
They put up points.
They could have moved the ball better, and they did at times move the ball better, and it was not a good performance by any stretch of the imagination. I'll give Denver credit. When they needed to crank it up, they cranked it up, and it worked for them.
You can't give Peyton Manning three tries. Peyton Manning, despite his deteriorating skills, still mentally the best quarterback I feel in the game. And 3 times, you could have put that game away. And it just couldn't happen. Now, to the Browns' credit, they did come back in the fourth quarter, put up 16 points, but ultimately could not get it done. What's your take, Matt? Because social media all over the place. A lot of people on head coach Mike Pettin for going for the 2-point conversion and failing. Did you agree, disagree with the decision?
I understand the reasoning behind it, that if at the time, if you convert it, you're up, I believe, 6. I just would have rather taken the point and saying that my defense is going to get another stop. Like, to me, it showed a lack of faith in his team, which I somewhat understand because
can't blame him.
They've proven that they shouldn't be trusted. But still, you got to believe that if Peyton goes down and scores a touchdown, if they get the 2-point conversion, you're still only down by what would be 3 at that point, so you can still get in field goal range and tie the game. You could second guess it to death, but the bottom line is if they make it, even the 1-point conversion, the game could be over because then you'd have to force Denver to go for a 2-point conversion on the Emmanuel Sanders touchdown. But it didn't happen, and the bottom line is decisions are made and the plays weren't executed properly. And and end result is a loss. So
yeah,
you can look at it in hindsight and say, "Oh, it was a bad decision." You could, but I look at the more pressing issue, the fact that he doesn't believe in his team.
No, it was an ugly day for quarterbacks. Josh McCown coming off the AFC Player of the Week. If there's any delusions of grandeur that Josh McCown was the second coming of Rich Gannon, it was a messy day in Cleveland, not the best weather, but hey, that's what you get in October in Northeast Ohio. Hey, this just in, right? So Josh McCown, 20 for 39, 213 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, a 63.3 quarterback rating, so slightly better than Peyton. I don't know, Matt, if this is more on the offense compared to the defense not being able to stand. Because number-wise, you did pick off Peyton Manning 3 times. The concerning part to me for that defense was you pressured Peyton Manning a grand total of 0 times. He stayed clean. What did we talk about our keys to the game on Friday? Get at Peyton Manning. Pressure him. It is baffling once again against a decimated offensive line of Denver how Peyton Manning stayed clean. Like, is this just the scheme? Are they not? Is Jim O'Neill, the Browns defensive coordinator, just not sending guys, or are they just unable to do it?
I guess what makes me the most upset is when they say this isn't who we are. We're better than this.
Stop.
Well, you've got to stop that now because you're looking at 12 straight games where this is what you are. You are what your record says you are, and right now you're not a very good defensive football team. You don't get after the quarterback. You don't set an edge for your life. You don't do anything well in terms of consistency. Like, there's nothing that you do well game in and game out where you can say, yeah, you can run on us. Yeah, you can do the short crap. But, you can't throw on us long down the field. But they did everything. They gave up everything.
Sure.
Tremont Williams had 2 bad plays. Fortunately for him, I believe one was called back as an incomplete pass. But still, it boggles the mind that they can't get anything done on that side of the ball. And, you can say all you want about Danny Shelton helping to improve the run defense. Defensive tackles help up the middle. They do not help on the edge,
nope.
And they still have nobody to set the edge. I would much rather see Paul Kruger go back to his weak side spot and rush the passer.
Please.
Instead of creating 2 holes, create 1 and get him back to his natural position and just worry about having to fill 1 hole. And this hole, well, we can't take away for special teams because that's what Kirksey does. And that's bull.
Yeah.
You cannot sit there and tell me that 10 plays of punts and kickoffs are more important than scrimmage downs. You cannot tell me that when kickoffs don't get returned anymore, and most of the time Travis Benjamin's sticking his hand up in the air, waving, saying, I call for a fair catch. Like, it boggles the mind, the insanity of the plan that you can't draft a guy in the top 10 as a wide receiver because he only impacts the game 10 times, but you're willing to take 10 scrimmage snaps away from a guy who's a better defender than somebody that you're putting out there. And, oh, by the way, Captain Obvious, you're already down 4 starters on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, Joe Hayden and Tashawn Gibson both out, so that puts a lot of stress. You're
and Craig Robertson. And Scott Solomon in the linebacking core, too. You have 4 starters, not legit NFL starters, but 4 starters on your team, 3 of which are legit NFL starters who are out of the lineup, and you insist on making more holes in the boat. Like, start plugging them. Don't create more.
Matt, the whole system seems flawed. Just Ray Farmer's whole ideology, and the coaching staff is not immune to it, but ultimately the players that they put on is flawed. Do you remember after the draft, Ray Farmer was criticized, or at least answering questions on, well, how did you take two linemen and a 3rd-round pick nose tackle again? Just building at the line. Do you remember he said, oh, I like my...
Something about a cup of coffee, like the slow brewed. Well, I think it's time he gets an espresso machine.
I like this. Yeah, I like the slow brew. Matt, I'm literally drinking a coffee right now. You know what? I put my K-cup in my Keurig machine. I like my coffee now. I want it instant. This is today, man. This ain't the 50s.
This is the NFL.
It's not the 60s. And guess what, Ray Farmer? Guess what? You don't have a decade to build something. You don't have 5 years. Heck, you might not have more than 2 years to build. The NFL is about play making and play makers. And kudos to Travis Benjamin. My God, he is looking like the real deal. And big play, Gary Barnage, another couple touchdowns. Like, great, I guess value picks. And Travis Benjamin, of course, a draft pick, so he's really paying off. But the rest of your receivers, Andrew Hawkins, 1 catch. Taylor Gabriel, 1 catch. Robert Turbin didn't look 100% healthy to me. He did next to nothing. And the run game, once again, was pretty pedestrian. Duke Johnson averaged 4.2 yards per carry. That's what you want, that above 4 from a upper echelon running back. So that's great. But, man, look at Isaiah Crowell, 11 carries, 2.9 average. Robert Turbin, 10 carries, 2.7. Like, this is, and we've talked about this before, this is both on the running backs and on the offensive line, and also probably on the play callers, because I don't know why you have a big, burly, north-south running back and Robert Turbin trying to get the edge. That's not his game.
No, it's not. It boggles the mind, the arrogance of this coaching staff and front office to think they can just put anybody out there and have them be great because that's the system. You're not the Patriots.
No,
you're not the Seahawks. You're not the Packers. You can't just plug and play and say, oh, we're developing consistency. Because you're not. You develop consistency when you win on a regular basis. I don't want to compete anymore. I want to win. And to hear Paul Kruger and Carlos Dansby say, oh, we took a step forward today, really? Really, because you still couldn't stop the run. Peyton hit you on a big bomb down the sideline against your veteran corner. He didn't even go after the rookie. That was the brilliant part. That was against Tremont Williams, who's been in the league for a decade. That wasn't against Pierre Desir or against Justin Gilbert, my man. He hit you right where you stand, and he went after your heart. He went after your strong suit, and he torched you.
And he beat you. And that was right after that. What was that? Was it after the pick six or after the Benjamin? That he came
it was after the pick six.
Pick six, yes.
Because he had a hell of a response to a pick six.
That's
to
right.
Go out there and on the next play, cannon shot a ball 75 yards down the field to Emmanuel Sanders for a touchdown.
And you know what? That just goes to show that Peyton Manning can still, at times, burn you. That arm looked pretty good on that play. It looked pretty good.
It may be, there may not be much tread on the tires anymore. But that thing could still get up to 60 when necessary.
Yeah, exactly. You're listening to The Doghouse, your inside look at the Cleveland Browns. I'm Andy McNamara alongside Browns insider from WKYC Sports in Cleveland, Matt Fleur-Jancic. Hit us up on Twitter at AndyMC81, at Matt Fleur-Jancic. So let's get to our Twitter question here, Matt. And it's really a simple one. And again, on Twitter at AndyMC81 and at Matt Fleur-Jancic. Why is the Browns' run defense so bad? Matt, why is it so bad? Do you have any explanation, any sort of hint as to why? Because that is one area that has shown no progress, zero, through the first chunk of the season.
You could say it's players, and you could say that they've had a lot of injuries, but at some point, to me, it becomes arrogance to the fact that you're not changing the scheme because you still believe in it that much that it can work. I applaud the fact that you believe in your stuff.
That's stubborn, though, Matt. That's stubborn.
But 13 games going back to last season now, 13 straight games where your defense has underperformed atrociously against the run. Like, you cannot continue to stick with something that doesn't work, because you know what the definition of insanity is?
Mm-hmm.
Doing the same thing repeatedly over and over and over and over again and expecting a different result. And right now, that's exactly what the Browns are doing.
It's true. It's true. And the fact that coming in, the Broncos running game was nil. And again, loads of injuries on that offensive line. They're on their third string left tackle. So you couldn't get pressure on the quarterback, and you couldn't stop the run. The center consistently gets pushed back. Like, the whole O-line is a mess.